54 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the temperature 6 feet beneath your yard right now. While your furnace fights to raise 15 degrees Fahrenheit winter air up to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, the ground is already holding 54 degrees Fahrenheit for free. That gap costs you roughly $1,100 every year, and the pipe that closes it costs less than 1 month of those bills. By the end of this video, you will know how to install that pipe yourself in a single weekend for under $2,000, and why American building codes have never mentioned it. In 1991, Wolfgang Feist stood in a half-finished building in Darmstadt with a single pipe running from the yard into the basement. His colleagues told him it would not work. That building has now been monitored for over 30 years. It uses 90% less heating energy, and the pipe has never been touched. Today, 65,000 European buildings use the same system. There is a community in the hills of southern Tunisia called Matmata, and the first thing you notice when you arrive is that you cannot see where anyone lives. 2,000 people live there, and researchers from the University of Sfax say they have been living there for 3,000 years. Their homes are not on the surface. They are carved into the soft rock of the plateau. Central pits 20 to 30 feet deep open to the sky, with rooms carved horizontally into the walls at different levels and connected by tunnels. You descend a stone ramp into a courtyard that exists entirely below grade. Everything around you is stone. The surface temperature in Matmata swings from below freezing in winter to over 110 degrees in summer. Inside those dwellings, measured by researchers across multiple annual cycles, the temperature holds steady between 65 and 68 degrees all year, without any heating, any cooling, or any energy input at all. Some of these structures are over 1,000 years old and still occupied. This is not an archaeological site, but a functioning community. UNESCO recognized that they solved climate control with a shovel and never stopped. 5,000 miles east, in the Yazd Basin of central Iran, Persian engineers were solving the same problem with a different tool. They built qanats, hand-dug underground water channels running up to 100 feet below the surface and tens of miles in length, delivering cold mountain groundwater to desert cities through nothing but gravity. Iran still has an estimated 376,000 kilometers of active qanat galleries, some over 1,000 years old and still carrying water today. But the qanat did more than move water. The engineers noticed that the air around the deep shafts was dramatically cooler than anything at the surface, and they started routing building ventilation through those underground galleries before it entered the living spaces. A wind catcher tower on the roof pulled hot air downward through the structure, across the qanat-cooled tunnels and into the inhabited rooms. Physicists at Oxford, who studied surviving examples, measured the result. Indoor temperatures were 25 to 30 degrees below the outside air, without electricity, refrigerant, or a single moving part. 2 civilizations and 2 different methods resulted in the same discovery. The ground beneath your feet holds a temperature that your heating and cooling system spends a fortune trying to create. The only thing you need to understand is how that temperature gets there, how stable it actually is, and why a 4-inch pipe is enough to capture it. The Earth is a thermal battery. This is not a metaphor, but a physical fact with a specific mechanism. Every day the sun deposits heat into the surface of the ground, and every night the ground radiates some of that heat back into the sky. At the surface, the temperature swings with every weather system, but the deeper you go, the less those swings matter. By 6 feet down, in most of North America, the temperature barely moves at all. The soil just sits at the mean annual temperature of whatever climate is above it, within 2 or 3 degrees, 12 months a year. In Boston, that means the ground at 10 feet holds between 50 and 53 degrees, whether the surface air is -10 in January or 95 in July. That is a 50-degree heating advantage in winter and a 43-degree cooling advantage in summer, sitting beneath every residential lot in the city, doing nothing. An earth tube captures it with the simplest possible engineering. You bury a standard corrugated drainage pipe, 4 to 8 inches in diameter, available at any building supply store, 6 to 10 feet below grade, running 100 to 200 feet under your yard before it enters the house. One end connects to a screened exterior air intake, and the other connects to your existing ventilation system. In winter, 15 degrees Fahrenheit outside air enters the intake and travels through 150 feet of pipe, surrounded by 52 degrees Fahrenheit soil. By the time it reaches the house, that air is 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Your furnace now lifts incoming air 20 degrees Fahrenheit instead of 53 degrees Fahrenheit. This results in roughly 60% less heating load before it fires once. In summer, the reverse happens, where 95 degrees Fahrenheit air enters the pipe and exits between 65 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. This provides 25 to 30 degrees of pre-cooling with no compressor or refrigerant, only a ventilation fan. Every peer-reviewed study on this technology finds the same range of 30 to 60% less energy for heating and cooling, making these modest installations a clear source of savings. One objection gets raised immediately, and that is condensation. Warm, humid summer air passing through cool pipes will condense moisture. This is real, and it is managed the same way your air conditioner handles it, with a slight slope to a condensate drain. European installations running since the 1990s show zero moisture problems when the slope is correct. The pipe has no moving parts, requires no maintenance, and has a design life exceeding 50 years. It will be conditioning your air long after the furnace it assists has been replaced twice. The physics has been proven for millennia. So why has no building code in America ever mentioned it? The global heating and cooling industry is a $240 billion market, and every dollar of it depends on mechanical systems running continuously inside buildings. Equipment sales, maintenance contracts, and energy consumption, all three revenue streams, require your furnace and your air conditioner to be doing the work. A buried pipe that reduces that work by 30 to 60% is not a product anyone in that industry has a reason to sell you, and so nobody does. This is not because anyone banned it, but because the system that governs American construction was built by people whose revenue depends on the alternative. The International Residential Code and the International Mechanical Code are updated every 3 years by committees of mechanical engineers, heating contractors, equipment manufacturers, and building industry representatives. Earth tubes have never appeared in the prescriptive, compliant sections of either code. A builder who wants to include one must apply under a provision called Alternate Means and Methods, which is a process requiring engineering documentation, plan review fees between $2,000 and $6,000, and inspections by officials who may never have seen the technology. In most jurisdictions, the paperwork costs more than the pipe. This process is burdensome. The contractor side is no different. No standard licensing category covers earth tube installation, and no insurance policy provides liability coverage for it. Once a pipe is in the ground with a drainage slope, there is no service contract to sell, because there is nothing to service. A heating and cooling contractor who recommends an earth tube is recommending himself out of 30 to 60% of his future service from that property. The appraisal structure seals it shut. When you sell your home, an appraiser calculates value from comparable sales, but no previous transaction has ever established a market premium for a buried pipe that saves $800 a year. A homeowner who spends $4,000 on a system that will pay for itself 5 times over cannot recover a cent at resale because the market has no way to see it. Appraisal systems do not count savings that are invisible in comparables. There is no conspiracy and no ban, Just a code that never included it, contractors who lose money if they sell it, and an appraisal system that cannot count it. The result is indistinguishable from prohibition, and it has held for decades, but not everywhere and not for everyone. The evidence that matters most does not come from a laboratory. Coober Pedy is a mining town in the South Australian outback, 500 miles north of Adelaide. Surface temperatures there range from below freezing in winter to 122 degrees in summer. Roughly 60% of the town's 3,500 residents live underground in full homes carved into the soft sandstone hills. Kitchens, bedrooms, living rooms, and tiled bathrooms are all cut from rock that holds a constant 72 degrees year-round. Australia's National Science Agency has published formal reports on these homes as a model for passive climate adaptation. The community has been living this way for over 60 years, proving the same physics every single day. In Taos, New Mexico, an architect named Michael Reynolds has been proving the same thing since the 70s. He did it above ground using earth shelter designs to maintain 65 to 70 degrees in a climate that swings from -20 to over 100. The New Mexico Board of Licensure stripped his license for building structures that violated code, but they later reinstated it. His buildings from the 70s are still standing and still holding temperature. He was right about the physics from the beginning, and the board that punished him for building what worked was wrong. Studies from Athens, Darmstadt, and the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory consistently measure 30 to 60% reductions in heating and cooling energy from earth tubes. Berkeley's conclusion on why the technology has not been adopted in the U.S. was blunt, stating the barriers are not technical and not economic, but structural. The code pathway does not exist. Meanwhile, Denmark, Switzerland, and Germany have had earth tubes in their official building energy guidelines since the 90s. What does it actually take to install one yourself? It is less than you would expect. You rent a trencher for a day or two, dig a trench 6 to 10 feet deep across your yard, and lay 100 to 200 feet of standard corrugated drainage pipe. One end gets a screened air intake above grade, and the other connects to your existing ventilation ductwork with a standard fitting. You slope the pipe slightly toward a condensate drain, backfill the trench, and you are done. Owner-builders across homesteading communities have been documenting the process and the costs for years, showing $800 to $2,500 in materials and equipment rental. The performance matches the academic data exactly, with warmer air in winter and cooler air in summer, and a furnace that runs dramatically less. The pipe is standard, the trench takes a weekend, and the physics has been working beneath your property since before your house was built. The only decision left is whether you act on it before the next heating bill arrives.